On Loose Lines, we are back.
What's the name of this?
On Loose Lines is the name of this show. We are back. I'm trying to do this properly, Topes. I've got to try and gag you from time to time, mate. It's a very hard thing to do sometimes, isn't it? Toby Mckinnon and Daniel Hibberd. Firstly, thank you very much.
So is this the same?
Thank you for joining me.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Good to be back. We've got a name at last.
Yes, we have.
So, Paul, is this the same show? Is this the same show we're doing that doesn't have a name, but it's got a name now on Loose Lines?
A little bit more condensed. So it's going to be purely harness racing. I catch up with Troy Harley in a minute. We show a video what myself and Troy got going. But, yeah, trying to condense it, trying to do it properly for everyone. It's hard to... I think under an hour is the way to go for social media. So once we put the greyhound component in, it makes it very hard to get everyone's point across. Plus, trying different things as well with Troy going forward as well. So I've got some exciting things going there. Troy's actually got a show that will be up on Bendigo Greyhound Racing Facebook as we speak called Box Rise, which I've been producing last week. And this week's show is even better. So I think he does a great job. So that's the way to go. And on Loose Lines, Toby is named in honour of Lockie McIntosh, not you. So, no, you're not allowed to have ad nauseum amount of dad jokes, mate.
When do Lockie come up with On Loose Lines? He says it in a few of the calls, doesn't he?
Absolutely, he does. And I like it. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a play on words. So
Very good. Very good.
The Americans call the lines reins. If there's some people out there that don't realise it, their reins are their lines. Yes, Tobes?
I have a little bit of a man crush on Lockie McIntosh, but don't tell anyone, all right?
At least it wasn't a dad joke, Daniel. It was a bit better than a dad joke.
No. He was just professing his love for Locke, that's all.
He's a great man, Lockie. He really is. And when I'm judging and he's up there as well, you spend a bit of quality time with the bloke, and he's a very, very funny man and just a great guy. He really is.
He's the king of the sly one-liners, isn't he?
He makes you think. You've got to sit there and you've actually got to think about, it's just, rolls off the tongue. But then if you go back and think of it a few seconds later, it's like, that's what that was about.
He does make things a little bit funny from time to time, I must say. Anyway, we want to make this show fun, entertaining. Going forward, we will like to probably do it a little bit more in person. I'd like to be able to catch up with you guys in person instead of these Zoom meetings, but right at the minute, it's the way it is. COVID is changing, though, so we might be able to meet at racetracks and that going forward. So we'll just see how we go. Tobes is not... You don't want to meet me in public, Tobe?
Somewhat, sort of, maybe.
Not after dark.
No. I'm going to ask Breeders' Crown Wrap, but Daniel, you wouldn't have been privy to this, but I actually was. I got a photo, was Sunday morning, I think it was. No, it might have been Saturday night, actually, with this guy with pink hair. And when you've got as dark of an eyebrows as what he has got and as bushy, and you get a pink hair photo, and he doesn't even remember sending it, it can be a little bit off-putting, mate.
Was it the one with the big pink glass?
You didn't send me that one, Topes. No.
No, I went out with a couple of high school mates who turned 40 recently, as I did as well, and there was a 40th at the pub that happened to be going on. It was a lady's 40th, and it was a pink theme thing, and somehow we managed to integrate into it, Paul. And that's how the pink hair came about.
I'm sure you boys did. Very, very subtly. How did you guys find Breeders' Crown weekend? I personally thought it was sensational, but I was happy to hear what you guys thought of the... I think the 2 days was really, really good. And actually, to be honest, Bendigo last night, culminating in Bendigo last night, I think pretty much the 3 days was pretty high-class racing. One of you's, dead air's no good.
Yeah, it was a really, really good carnival. And, yeah, it's a really good carnival. And having it in the time slot that it's in now really works. Obviously, once we get back to having horses from New Zealand and the rest of Australia as well, being able to move more freely and be part of it, I think it's going to work really, really well. Obviously, there's a few horses that have come down from interstate that were a part of the series. But once we get back to that, I guess national, event, it's going to be really sought after, I think. And 3 days, three race meetings to get through all of the semis, the finals, and the consolation as well. It's really worked extremely well, and we've got to be pretty happy with how it's all played out in the end.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Topes?
Funnily enough, Paul, we actually had a Sunday race meeting at Melton on the day Breeders' Crown would have been August 28 or 29 or whatever it was, and it rained all day. It rained there all day, and the stewards and the participants and myself were all commenting on how this would have been Breeders' Crown Day. Now, I know it's different, we can't have crowds and all of that, but going into the future, how nice will it be on a 30-degree night in late November or mid-November, out at Melton, relaxing, people out on the grass? It will be absolutely magnificent, and it's a big tick to HRV.
And the other part, Tobes, there's nothing else on. There's no competition. There's no other sport on. The cricket is starting, but other than that, there's nothing to compete against. That time. I know there's plenty of sport, but no high-profile sport. You'll have your basketballs and those things in a normal year, but you haven't got your F1 Grand Prix. Your spring carnival's just finished. Your football's finished. So most of those big things are gone. So it's sort of a bit of an ideal spot, I think, anyway. Nothing.
Agreed,
mate. This is going to be ordinary. This is going to be ordinary,
especially with the. It's great with the the gallops. Obviously, there's a lot of talk with the gallops in Sydney and Melbourne. Pushing back to that later November period, and sort of no one really wants to budge to move it. But for us, I think in harness racing, it really suits our sport from November through to essentially February, March sort of time period. And if we can, if you're starting your major period of racing with the Breeders' Crown, leading into a Vic Bred series, leading into country cups, and then a Hunter Cup at the back end. I mean, it's you're not against the footy, which is huge, and it's just it's all ticks. It's all ticks.
I think that's what he said.
It's like that mangy dog I inherited when I bought this property.
You wouldn't have wanted it anywhere near your eyebrows, would you?
No. Eyebrow, Paul. Exaggerate. Only one.
What did they end up?
Mono.
We worked SEN together, Daniel, a couple of weeks ago. What did they end up being called? Slugs. They nearly had their own show on their own. Don't worry about that. Nothing.
Caterpillars. Darby McGuigan calls me caterpillars.
I know that, but didn't they get another name on SEN? Anyway, he's not going to talk to us.
Yeah, but they don't look like slugs.
No.
They're like caterpillars. They're caterpillars, mate.
We were on air for 5 hours, and they took up an hour and a half of the whole segment, though. Don't worry about that. He's got nothing.
The nutrient sale, how did that go, Paul?
It went okay. I think there's been a bit of a mixed report and the likes. I like how he's starting to run the show now. Don't worry about that, Daniel. It went okay. There was
taking over.
There was ins and outs. Like there's some mixed reports and all the rest. But so far, I believe they've sold 14 of the 25 lots that were on offer. So that's a good sign now that things are moving forward. It was different. A lot of people had trouble finding the site. A lot of people had trouble understanding how it all worked and the likes. But they're learning from that. I spoke to Mark Barton today, and they're learning. So I think it's encouraging a different format, a different way of it. You got to remember, 4 of those horses were in New Zealand as well. So it makes for it's sort of different viewing. That's for sure. Nothing. You're giving me nothing, you. So we've got a few people watching, which is good, but you're giving me nothing.
No, well, what more can you say? Yeah, they're having a crack, Nutrient, and bloody good on them. And let's keep trying new things and get behind anyone having a crack at something new and different and giving people a different way of getting into our sport or getting out of our sport if they're selling, I suppose.
Maybe On Loose Lines could be one of those ways, Topes. There seems to be a bit more of...
Yeah, they mightn't...
There seems to be a bit more of a
I
delay.
missed that. You cut out.
Yeah, I know. There seems to be a bit more of a delay between me and Tobes. I'm not sure what's going on there. I think we've got to wind up our internet somehow. I'm going to throw to a quick chat.
It could be doing it on purpose.
Not Toby. He doesn't do those things on purpose, Daniel. He's not like that way at all.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised, Daniel, that Paul's got to within 6 seconds of me. I must be slacking off a bit.
I'm going to throw to an ad from Troy Harley, an interview with Troy Harley I did earlier, just promoting what he's doing, and the next. And when we come back, the boys have got a point each for the week, or this one's actually open-ended because we've never really started this, but we'll probably start off with Toby's point of interest and go from there, and then we'll have another interview a bit later on. But I'll just throw up to the Troy Harley interview right now, and we'll be back as soon as it finishes. Take me 2 seconds. Rightio, On Loose Lines. I've named my show. It's no longer the show with no name, Hales.
Loose reins, isn't it?
On Loose Lines.
On loose lines.
Yes, the American term for reins, but
yep.
with Toby involved.
The loose parts, right?
Yeah, and with Toby involved, so anything could happen. Daniel's very reserved, Toby not so. And the beauty is, he won't be able to see this interview until after the show's gone up. So I've got one whack back at him. We've branched out a little bit. We're changing things up, I suppose, to try and do it a bit differently, I suppose. Up above your head, I've got Box Rise, which is a great show that you are doing. I'm doing a little bit in the background with you, trying to get it out. We're not going to do anything. We're going to continue to do things together as well, but we're just trying a couple of different shows to try and showcase our industry.
Yeah, I think so. I think the dual code and the joint venture things are great as well. But obviously we've got our own stories to tell at different stages, and harness racing got their stories, and we got our stories. And I think predominantly probably 70 or 80% of the time you want to focus on your own stories, and then that 30% of the time get together when we need to. And obviously the two industries have got plenty in common and plenty of cross support as well. And I think some of the things we've done in this year, and particularly two local race clubs here have done together in the last couple of years, have got some of the ground people looking at harness racing, the harness people looking at ground racing. But it's good to get and do a little bit of our own focus and our own thing, but it'll also be good to get back as well and do a bit of the dual code stuff when the right timing.
The hardest part about doing a show and doing it properly for everyone and trying to do it rightfully so, anything over an hour is hard on social media. Anything for us to get something under half an hour is very hard, especially I just did an interview with Robbie Auber. You've got no chance if you've got him on the other phone. But that is one of the reasons. But we're definitely going to be doing more stuff. We'll be recording stuff. We're going to do a lot of different stuff. Plus, here at Bendigo, we're going to be doing a lot of shows as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a club, we've invested plenty of money and plenty of time into this media stuff, as you have yourself personally through Campbell's comments. And I think between the two of us, we should be able to get not just the local stuff, but also the statewide, the national stuff being promoted as well. As you know, we're doing the couple of country cups now for ground racing, and who knows, we might be able to get a couple of country cups for harness racing at some stage as well. But we'll certainly, one of our aims from our point of view is to bring a bit of a profile to some of our local participants and our local achievers in the sport, and whether it be through the videos and the Facebook and the YouTube, or it be through podcasting, and we'll be taking your guidance on a bit of that as well. So it's going to be very interesting times.
I might put it out there for the people. We'll see if anyone actually does listen. I want to call you and I Harley Cam. I don't know if you're that keen on it, but I just wouldn't mind a bit of feedback. Sounds like a good motorbike for me, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a speed camera on a highway. That's what it sounded like.
Winners for the weekend, mate. Most of what Campbell's comment does is not around the punt or anything else like that, but without the punt, we don't have a race, unfortunately. So any race anywhere, have you got a good winner for any of the trotting guys at home?
I think Perfect Colour is the best bet here on Thursday night. Our meeting's been moved to Thursday night because of the heat on Friday. And just pretty much, if you want to follow dogs to Black Book to have a bit of an investment in the future, check out races 2 and 3 at Sandown on Friday night. They're the Vic bred maiden final, the Super Vic Greys 1 to 4 wins. There is 4 or 5 grounds there will be no question performing in group races over the coming 6 to 12 months. An outstanding couple of races. I think if you Black Book a few of them and follow them, you'll have a bit of fun.
Box Rise, it's going to be on the Bendigo Greyhound website, or hopefully it'll be on GRV. Hopefully it'll be on the Watchdog. We'll put a bit of pressure on them if they are watching. You've done some terrific interviews, one with Brian Coughlin, who's a local Bendigo bloke who are in the running with Shimmershine. If Shimmershine gets up, it's a great result for the locals. But you've done an awesome, I suppose, race analysis with Jason Adams, who is a ripper, isn't he? He's young and he's upbeat about everything. You can see, what was the word he kept using? I forgot. I forgot it. He used one word a lot, and I think it's great.
A beast.
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 Yes,
Yeah, the dog's a
it's
beast.
got
Beast mode. Yeah.
Yeah, he's big on that, and I think that's great. And it's a great selling point.
Oh, he's a major talent, and I'm not sure we'll keep getting him for free for 2 months.
We'll pay him in drinks or something. He'll be fine. Troy Harley, thank you very much. As I said, make sure you go to his Facebook page. Check out the latest edition of Box Rise for all your punting tips this weekend, especially the big meeting at Sandown Park.
Thanks, mate.
Troy Harley is back. The random things you do, Toby Mckinnon. Great to hear from Troy Harley, and his show was really, really good. I recommend everyone go to the Bendigo Greyhound Facebook page and his YouTube channel, and you'll be able to keep in touch with most of those. 3 topics for the week. Toby Mckinnon, I'm going to throw to you because I think your topic is terrific. And yes, I do have a chart. So when you're ready to for me to throw that chart up, you give me the heads up, and I'll make sure I put it up there.
Okay, Paul. What I'm working towards here is lead time. So at the moment, all the tracks, and it's predominantly the middle distance. Yes, when it's over 1690 metres or something, the lead times are relevant. So over the middle distance, we display the lead time on the semaphore board in what I would call a lead rate. So we equate the lead time back to what it would have been if it had been, say, over 400 metres. It's no different to the concept of a mile rate. It's the same concept. So we're just moving whatever the lead time is. So at Melton, and you can throw the screen up if you've got it up. Or I've done some comparisons for you. So in the 3-year-old fillies Breeders' Crown at Melton, the Pantheus race where Sweet Louise led, they ran a lead time of 44.5, which would equate to a 28.2 quarter. Now, instantly, you know that's pretty quick. Then you look at Bendigo last night over the 21.50. Mahita and Gemstone went to the front. Well, they went a 27.1 lead rate. And now we know that's really quick. And what happened at the end of that race? Gemstone ran out of puff. Now, the lead time of 36.6 at Bendigo, that doesn't mean a lot to me. I don't really know what that means. The next one I looked at again, 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. Zeus Bromac, a 43.8 at Melton, which would equate to a 27.8. That's pretty fast. He led. He kept going. He's gone pretty well. Bendigo, So Extra, 38.9. That equates to a 28.8. That's a pretty soft lead time, really, for that class of horse. He led. He did it pretty comfortably in the end. Then I had a look at Blue Common at Bendigo, ran 45.1 from the stand start, and that equates to 33. The night before, on Saturday night, Hurricane Harley, he was 4.1, but that equates to a 28-second lead time. So instantly you can see Blue Common, those lead times are about the same, and 33.3 is not bad from the stand, really, and Hurricane Harley, 28, probably wasn't that quick, really, compared to some of those others. The other one I looked at was Warrigal on Sunday, and you may or may not have seen this race. La Putty came from gate 5-6, came out really hard. They ran a 28.2 lead rate. Now, Warrigal, that's a 42.4. And if anyone knows instantly that 42.4 is quick at Warrigal, good luck to them. I don't know it. But 28.2, that equates to instantly know for that class of horse, that's very fast. And those front horses, they tied at the end for in-play punters this, Paul.
I've got a bad feeling Tobes might have dropped out. I'm not sure if he's still there, Daniel, or not. I reckon they're huge stats.
I think his vision certainly dropped out, but
he was there with us with audio. He may be able to reconnect.
It is really impressive.
You're right, Daniel.
It is really impressive stuff, and as I said, we were talking off air there. So this was something that I'd sort of picked up on as a kid. I remember going to the races at St Arnaud. Probably would have only been 14 or 15 years old, and one of Dad's friends was actually training and driving horses, and he got called in the steward's room regarding his driving a horse. He sort of said to the stewards, the stewards asked him why did you drive so hard, or why didn't you take cover, and all that sort of X, Y, Z, which sort of equated to a 27 quarter, and he said he used that as his evidence to to support his argument. So I've always sort of learned.
going, when the race caller says, the first quarter's in 31 and the second quarter's in 32 or something like that, you soon realise, okay, they're going slow. The ones out the back are probably going to struggle. But if you know that if you get that lead rate, if you know that once they go inside the mile pole and you get the lead rate straight off the bat, then you've got a better chance of knowing, okay, we're midfield, we're a chance, we're out the back, we've got no chance, that sort of thing. So it is a really, really good concept.
I agree, and I think
I can see you guys, and can you hear?
no, yes and no, Tobes. Every now and then we can, but we can't see you, mate. I'm trying to get. We can definitely hear him, so I'll put him back there so we might be able to hear some of his thoughts. I think the biggest one that I saw there was the Blue Comb and Hurricane Harley one. One's a standing start, one's a fast class mobile race, and there's 1 second difference. Yet effectively there's 5 seconds difference over a trip. So it's out to me. How can we educate people what harness racing's about when we say 1 day 45? Where it does have a lot of relevance, I think, anyway.
I think, Paul, if you're getting me, for the diehards, we might know what a good lead time is and what isn't. But for the average punter that bets on the gallops, it's in the pub on a Saturday night having a bet at Melton, they can start to connect with what those lead times mean and have a bit of an understanding. And they're the people we've got to market and promote our sport to.
Absolutely, mate. It's telling me, Tobes, that your camera's not on, mate. So just have a look at your settings and just see if you can't turn your camera back on while you're going there. I agree, and I think exactly that. It's a simple way of marketing. I'll tell you what else I think, Tobes and Daniel, and you guys may not have thought about, but for young drivers coming through, that instead of looking at the lead times, like Blue Comb and last night, they see 45. They wonder, where's that at? Whereas if it is there somewhere that it says that's a 33 quarter, they've got an understanding of how to be able to rate their horse, I suppose, accordingly. It's good to say, they should know how to rate them. Yeah, they should, but these clocks are everywhere, so people use them, and it might just be a better tool that makes our product better as well. So as that young drivers see it, they learn. So if they see that and they learn from it, then they can drive better as well. So I think I never say this, Daniel, I try not to say it too often at all, but it's one of Toby's better ones.
Yeah, absolutely right. But that's the thing, like the middle distance that we race over on all the different tracks around the state, there can be from anywhere from sort of, 2,100 up to 22, 2,300. And those lead times where it might be, 40, 41, 42, it's really irrelevant because it really comes down to that distance. And unless you're, really specific and you really know your stuff, you're not going to, a 42-second lead time is going to mean nothing to you. As soon as you say a 26 quarter, that's when people know how fast they're going.
Not sure if you can, but yeah, you go ahead, please, mate. I'd like to hear what you got to say.
No, I think we're done and dusted. You've agreed that it's the best idea you've ever heard. You're putting me on a pedestal, and that's all I wanted to hear.
Mate, I haven't even got a picture of you at the minute. I wish I had something I could put up there in the face. I might go scrolling in a minute and just see what I can find. Go there, Daniel. Your topic for the week.
You have got a.
Sorry, Toby.
You have got a picture of me, Paul. You have got a picture of me. You've just zoomed right in on the caterpillar.
He's
changed colour by the looks of it too.
He's still here in spirit, that's for sure. But anyway, I'm not sure. As I said, Tobes, just say on my end that you don't have a camera. I'm not sure what the go is there. I can't. Oh, he's gone now. Definitely gone now, Daniel. So just bear with me.
Yeah, he's had enough. He's pulled the pin.
He definitely has. Now the problem I have is that you have changed your problem. Daniel, what I'm going to do, mate, is I'm actually going to throw to my interview. I caught up with Robbie Auber just before, and so I might throw to his interview. Hang on a sec. He's back. The great man's back, so we might just see what happens here first before we do that. He is trying to come back because if he does come back, yep, he's back in the same spot. So now he fixed you up. Well done, Tobes. Whatever you did, mate, well done. 3 cheers for Toby. Oh, now he's back. He's back clapping himself.
Round of applause.
Rightio, Daniel, your topic for the week.
Well,
Well, I know you've sort of changed your topic as well, but I was struggling to sort of think of one. But I really think the effort of Dave Moran over the last few days has been quite remarkable. I mean, he had obviously Lochinvar Arts, probably run one of the best races I reckon I've seen by a beaten horse in an extremely long time. There was a huge performance against Hurricane Harley on Saturday night. And then he came out and won with the Ladies in Red, who was a superb performance as well. And then to finish off what had been a bit busy few days, he goes to Cobham and drives 5 winners. Absolutely on fire. And it wasn't like he was driving, all short price favourites. He got a 25-1 pop home as well. So he's had a fantastic few days, and I hope there's plenty of punters out there that would have got onto most of those. I don't know about the 25-1 pop, but to drive 5 winners at a card at Cobham is a really good effort.
Absolutely. Toby, your thoughts?
Well,
No, I was going to say your thoughts.
oh, well, he's absolutely flying, David. He's been very professional as well throughout this whole thing with Lochinvar Art. He presents him well, he promotes him well, he speaks gracefully after he wins races. He's just handled himself so thoroughly throughout the whole having that horse. I reckon I've just dropped out again.
No, you're there. You're all good.
Still going.
You're good.
No, still going. Good.
Yep.
No, all right. The terrain thing, I know I've said it before. The club tried to get Lochinvar Art to come down. He answered the phone every time Claire rang him. He messaged her every night, every morning how the horse was. He told the club his plans before he told the media. He told the club his plans before he told HRV. He was outstanding through that whole process. And I know the horse didn't come to Terang, but the club couldn't have been happier with Dave Moran and how he treated him. So that was a huge tick from my perspective and from the Terang club.
Absolutely. I think he's first class. Every time I've tried to do something with him, he's been terrific. So cannot fault the man at all. I reckon it's after 7 o'clock. It is. I'm having internet issues. Wi-Fi and go their hardest, but it's all right. We'll just keep rolling on, and if it doesn't go up properly, I'll put the recording up in a minute, but it's still going okay. Mine, as I said, I changed it mainly off the back of Toby's, because I think Toby's is a pretty good thought-provoking one that'll, hopefully, if people watch this show, they will think about it and see what they come back. And we want some comments. We haven't had any comments at all on the page tonight. We've had plenty of people come in and out, but I definitely want comments. I just wanted to highlight Abby Turnbull. Not... running third in a Group 1 race, there's plenty of people that actually do that, but it's just actually the joy. I did a podcast with her yesterday, the joy that she actually got, and she showed it on social media. I'm sure there's lots of other people who have the same joy. I just love people displaying it, and in the manner in which she did. Her mum as well. Even her dad, when I rocked up, I know he was pretty excited that I rocked up to interview her just after running third in a Group 1. I think sometimes we get caught up in the big picture of what harness racing is and trying to make it bigger and better, and you want to be the best, and we forget the part that I think we all fell in love with was the simple things that made us smile. And I think listening to Ab yesterday just talk about how excited she was and looking at her facial expressions, I think she's a great story for the week myself. Toby, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I've known Abby for a long time, Paul, because they were not far from Yarra Valley when she grew up. So I'm a little bit biased towards that. There was a couple of wonderful young people got thirds on the weekend. The other one, Josh Duggan, who, he's put a pacer in a trotters race and run third at 126-1, Paul. That's not my gate.
Yes, Toby, but it was trotting, just remember.
It was trotting, but I couldn't resist doing that gag. So going back to Abby, she'd come down to Yarra Valley Trials. She was helping people out. Rolly Wilson gave her a go on a good horse called Qatari Roland. I know she appreciated that a lot. Her father, Craig, he's a wonderful guy, Craig, and a great teacher, very softly spoken guy. And Beck, she's not quite so softly spoken, Beck, but she's been wonderful for Abby, teaching her how to promote herself and how to present herself and talk to people. So she's got the best of both worlds there in her mum and her dad.
Yep. Daniel, your thoughts?
Yeah, she's. I mean, I've had a little bit to do with her with the trials and that. You sort of see her out there just about every week. And it was interesting. It was last week. I think it was waiting for her to come out and drive, and she wasn't on the list. And I thought, well, that's a bit strange. And she was actually at Mildura. She was driving lights and music up at Mildura. So she does certainly do all the hard work, gets around to all the tracks, and she's. If you're looking for a claiming driver, I mean, she's you can't go past her. The way she drives, the way she puts the horses into the race, she's had that great grounding, and there's no reason why she can't one day drive that Group 1 winner in a Breeders' Crown or a Vicbred or something like that.
Maybe the Vicbred with that same horse, because he's gone terrific for the series. He's really developed Jensen's Pet. Boys, I gave you a run sheet. We're going to scrap the run sheet because
he's improved a hell of a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to scrap the run sheet. We're just going to go for the final two segments, and then I'll throw to Robbie Auber's interview, just because the internet is playing up everywhere. I think we're better off continuing while we do have Toby. Just on that, Tobes, you appear to have potentially moved position, have you?
No, why?
Oh, it looks like you moved. You moved to a different part of the house. Like Daniel said, it's very bright all of a sudden. 1 minute it was dark, now it's very bright.
Gone from. He's just paid the electric bill. That's probably what he's done.
Is that better, darling?
No. We just like giving you a
bit of mood lighting.
Rightio. Campbell's comments.
What about winner of the week, Paul?
Hang on. Campbell's comments has sponsors, but this show doesn't have any sponsors. Anyone wants to get on board, please don't hesitate to get in touch with Campbell's comments, and we can go from there. Woodland Stud. Well done, Tobes. Good man. We haven't got Daniel a shirt. We'll have to get Daniel a shirt. Mark will be on to that. Don't you worry about that. And Barristock both get behind Campbell's comments greatly, and I much appreciate their support. So I've come up with two little ones, probably to start it. We want to get a bit more interaction with this show. We want to try and give away some prizes going forward and the like, so we'll try and get a few people going in it. Toby, I threw to you, being the Woodlands representative on the panel at the minute, because Daniel's shirtless, so we can't have him with that. I thought I'd throw to you for the Woodlands winner of the week, and I reckon you've done an exceptional job, but I'm just not 100% sure why. I will throw the tile up, and you can tell everyone why this is your winner of the Woodlands winner of the week.
Yeah, well, I've gone something a bit different, Paul. Reckon I'm Smart at Cobram, race 5 at 1 for David Moran, the man we were just talking about. It was actually bred by Woodland Stud. By American Eye out of a mare called Pacing Grace. I do have a daughter named Grace. And the reason Reckon I'm Smart stuck with me, because I sort of thought if we mentioned Woodland Stud, I thought it'd be smart, and we might get some sponsorship out of them and some dollars, so we can get reimbursed for some expenses.
Mark, we'll watch. Don't worry about that. There's not a worry there in the world. Hopefully it's not as delayed as what it is. That's for sure. You're a very clever man, Toby Mckinnon, I must say. You do worry me sometimes, but that's all right. Now, Daniel Hibberd, Barristock, great sponsors of the Shepparton Harness Racing Club. So we'll look after Macra as well and Barristock, because they do a great job by me. You call the trials there, so I threw the challenge out to you for the trial horse to follow, mate, and you've come up with one.
Yeah, look, this was a super trial. Just to give a bit of perspective with the conditions there last Thursday, the guys had a bit of a breakdown with the water truck, so they couldn't get any water on the track from about 1:30 in the afternoon till after, well and truly after the trials had finished. It was like racing at Birdsville in the middle of the summer up in Queensland. There was dust everywhere. It was very, very loose. It was no fault of anyone. The water truck just broke down. Western Sonador's the horse. His trial performance was incredible, given how the track was. There hadn't been any remedial work done to the track for the whole of the trial night. He went crazily times. Beck really let the horse go, and he cruised past the winning post and did it really easy. He's in on Saturday night. He's drawn the second row at Melton. He's first up, but on that trial run, he's going to be really hard to beat.
One thing about him too, Daniel, he's a spunky little horse.
Race 1, number 12, 6.
Sorry, Topes.
He's a beautiful looking animal. I remember actually calling him up at Cobram probably a couple of years ago, and was really taken by his appearance. he does get a little bit fired up, but once it gets to the fair dinkum stuff of racing and big show on Saturday night.
Toby?
Yeah, look, I don't know the horse too well. It's raced in the Riverina a fair bit, which is a little bit out of my hunting ground, but a very, very tough ask. And no matter how well you've tried to go to Melton first up, draw barrier 12, like they're going to run 155, 156 in that race. He's going to have to run out of his skin. If he wins that first up, he is going places, that horse.
That the Riverina form,
Let's hope so.
The Riverina form, Toby, was Group 1 Riverina form. That was those $1 million races. He was sent there for that back at the start of the COVID. So, yeah, he has got pretty good Riverina form. I reckon Tobes has just gone again, Daniel. No, he's back. Tobes is playing. He's playing the statue game. I don't know if he's being serious or what he's doing to me. Boys, I don't reckon we'll push it much longer.
Can't tell with the...
Oh, yeah.
Toby, Tobes, you got to do me a favour. I don't think you can. Can you say goodbye, mate? All right.
I can say goodbye to you, Paul. I love saying goodbye to you. I'll see you in a week's time.
I will. Me and Daniel are both working at Geelong on Friday night together on Trots Vision, so don't forget to tune in for that. Will you be at Geelong, Tobes? He's gone still.
I will be there.
His audio's just gone. I'm going to throw, that's the worst part. You're both doing statues. You'll see what I mean in a minute.
Yep.
I'm going to this interview of Robbie Aubers. I hope the show's been okay. We definitely still have audio issues. We've got to try and find somewhere where we can all get together. Tobes is back waving. He's a good man. Thank you, guys. We'll throw to this interview with Robbie Auber some exciting news around the VHRC going forward. And thank you for your time. We'll be back next week with On Loose Lines. Thanks, guys. Rightio, On Loose Reins welcomes special guest Robbie Auber. The people you meet in the strangest places, isn't it, mate?
Well, I'm glad we're meeting at foreign territory today. We'd like to thank the Bendigo Greyhound Racing Association for giving us this beautiful backdrop here at Bendigo for today, but we're going to be talking harness racing, but we still love the greyhounds too.
Absolutely, I do a lot with Troy Harley. He's sitting there with a big smirk on us right now, but I'm going to give his show a wrap as well. Box Rise, it is actually. It's a show I do with him. We've branched out a little bit what we used to do when we're trying to promote both sides of it. So you're here calling the greyhounds, mate. Busy time for yourself. I'm tipping you're pretty proud, and rightfully so, with the announcement and release of the new website, mate. Yeah,
we're getting there. It's been a long journey. This is the Victorian Harness Racing Club, and as you are doing some great work, Paul, in your role as well for harness racing, I think the whole industry are really been rallying in looking at trying to promote our industry in the best way we can, and certainly from a Victorian Harness Racing Club perspective, it was really important. The club were investing back into the industry, and that's exactly what they've done, certainly with the bonus races. We start off with the VHRC Super Bonus Race meeting, the first of them kicking off on the 3rd of December at Shepparton. Noms close this Friday for any horse that wins, and the owner or the horse himself is paid up will receive a $1,500 bonus from the Victorian Harness Racing Club, an additional $1,000 sales voucher from Australian Pacing Gold and Australasian Premier Trotting Sale, which is a terrific incentive for those people looking at purchasing a horse, and for the trainer themselves for a $100 outlay. If they get into the early bird package before the 31st of December, each time they win a race, they receive an additional $500 bonus. And that will be across 26 race meetings right across Victoria. There's no limit on how many times you win. So a trainer can win 5 races and walks away with an additional $2,500 in their pocket over the journey. A horse can win 4 or 5 times, and every time you multiply that by 1,500. So there's some really good incentives there for people to sign up. And part of that is really about just a lot of social events going into 2021. We've got a project going on currently with the Victorian Government and Harness Racing Victoria about getting a members area dedicatedly built for the Victorian Harness Racing Club members into 2021. So there's a lot of projects happening. We've got our major function that we're going to kick off the year at Crown Palladium on the 31st of January, where we'll be conducting not only the barrier draw for the Hunter Cup, the lead up to the Hunter Cup and the Great Southern Star, we'll also be introducing the inaugural Lang medals, which will be there to acknowledge 2 great champions that we lost throughout the year. both in Graham Lang and Gavin Lang. We've got some amazing footage and stories that we'll be sharing over the next 6 to 8 weeks leading up to that night. We've got a terrific story on Graham Lang, which I'm sure everyone will enjoy watching on our website. We'll release that leading up to the big night. And we've got a 25-minute package on Gavin Lang. We've got some raw footage from the family. We've also got some footage from Gavin being in hospital as well. It's a very emotional video, but I think it'll be a video that the whole industry will be very proud of. We saw last Saturday night, HRV did a terrific tribute to Gavin and their family. We've got a big night coming up here at Bendigo through Duncan McPherson with a couple of race names. Series happening here at Bendigo. I think that's on the 5th of December by memory, or around that time on the Friday night. And then we'll be heading, hopefully enjoy the website, because the website belongs to the people of our industry. We've gone with the slogan, the heart of harness racing, because we all love and have a great passion for our sport. And at the end of the day, we want to share that love and passion with everyone in our industry.
Absolutely. Trots Vision's been awesome. I think what they did the other night at Melton for Gavin, the tribute, the 1 minute silence. But from my own point of view, I was super stoked to see Johnny Caldo out there representing everyone, because I think if a lot of people behind the scenes would know that there's a very fitting. And Gavin took him under his wing basically when Johnny lost his brother many moons ago, so there was a great association. So I thought it was an amazingly fitting tribute, and I'll be honest, I teared up watching it, sitting at home watching Trots Vision. So I think when that happens, it's congratulations to everyone involved. I think it was very well done.
Yeah, look, different media range. At the end of the day, whatever platform it is, it's about the promotion of the sport, and the more exposure that we can put out there, and the more you can sell the story, and the good stories in particular, is how you will get people to buy back into the product. And I think we've got a really strong foundation. It's been developed, and hopefully going into 2021, we really hope that we can grow and evolve the whole situation of the club and all the work we're doing in harness racing.
Uncharted territories, I put it as. I think we can do just about anything if we put our minds to it, and all
No
the rest.
doubt.
Hales has given us a 5-minute warning, because I think you can talk a lot more than me, which is scary. I think a lot of people won't believe that. So it's one of those things. VHRC.com is the website to go to.
.org, yeah. So
.org,
so VHRC.org.au. We've currently got a terrific story on John Yeomans, who's been.
I did watch that too.
It's amazing. You talk about the dedication of people in the sport. It goes back right to when he started, and I'm sure people will enjoy the video. And I know a lot of people that have watched it so far have been absolutely stoked with it. And I will say we've got some great stories coming up, like yourself in the work you're doing. We're selling the stories of our people, and hopefully you can support the club with a membership, even if it's just a social club membership. That's really important to the club, and in particular for the longevity of it going forward. So if the people support it, the club will keep doing the stuff that we're doing right now.
It can't grow if the participants don't put into it. That's the biggest thing that I keep trying to explain to people. The more you can put into it, the more it will grow. If you reach one person, we're doing a good job. So that's the way to do it.
You're 100% right. I know this is being recorded. It's going to be showed tonight. Race 11's coming up, and if there's no race caller for race 11, I'm going to lose my job. So I'm going.
Thanks, Robbie Auber. Well done to you, mate. Thanks for dropping in for a chat.
Thank you.